Good day again. Now, in the previous video, I demonstrated to you how you can set up the virtual environment. Now, if ever you failed to watch the first video, you can just click this option or you just visit the YouTube video that where I uploaded it. Okay, now we will continue now with our lesson 2. So let's ask, what is the reason why we need to use the virtual environment for what purpose? Okay, so this one is really important to understand as well. There are several instances why we need to create a virtual environment becomes important and beneficial in terms of Python projects, especially with the use of Flet projects. This is not only applicable using Flet, can be also applicable in using Django, the Flash, and other framework in Python. Okay, so here are the scenarios. Example, if you want to develop the multiple projects, when you want to work on different dependencies, or you need to require different versions, but then it can be in the same package. So the use of virtual environment can ensure you that each project has its own isolated set of dependencies. Another reason, if you want to test a new package or library without affecting your global environment or other projects. Let's say in your one folder you have a multiple projects, then you can create a virtual environment safely just to experiment and evaluate the package. There's a purpose of that. And for collaborating with others, let's say you want to collaborate with the other team or programmers, and then using a virtual environment, it can ensure you that everyone is working with the same set of dependencies. This reduces the likelihood of encountering compatibility issues. So that's the common problem, especially running a project. And then it would be easier to share the project. Now, another reason is to actually avoid dependency conflicts. Okay, different projects may require different versions of the same project. So, with the use of virtual environment can help you avoid conflicts by isolating dependency for each project. So that's also the purpose. And for reproducibility, well, in this term, it can ensure your project environment can be easily reproduced, which is very important for deployment or collaboration. So if you're going to use virtual environment and specifying dependencies in creating a requirements text. Okay, there are instances where you need to install different libraries in Python, but the problem is sometimes when you deploy it in another PC, it might not be available in that particular desktop or PC or laptop that you are using, especially you want to test it. So the best option is actually to uh, specify the dependencies in a requirements that text so that you can create a consistent and reproducible environment for others to use. And this can be done by creating a requirements that text. Okay, now the question is, how can we do that? Okay, let's say you are here on your project. We need to create, okay, for a requirements that text and how it would be like example this one. Now let me open with the notepad. Let's say automatically we want to create something like this. Okay, so these are with the versions, all the libraries that we need, especially if we want to use the Python Flet. Okay, let's say we want to create this kind of files, we generate it and put it inside our applications. Now, what is the command for that option. Okay. Now for that, okay, let me do that to you. First that we need to do is, of course, set up our environment. Now, if in case you don't know how to do this, set up the environment, you can go back and the first video in the part one. I demonstrated there how you can set up the environment and create the folder and all as an example. Next thing that you need to do is install the packages that you need for your project. Example, you have this kind of project, you have to install this first initially. But by default, it will be, you know, get what is existing. Let's say if you're using here in your environment, from here, okay, pip install pandas, okay, yeah, something like that, okay, and it will install here through your environment, okay, something like this. You just have to wait to let it continue to download all the requirements, okay. Just assuming you don't have now, if you want to install more others like NumPy, and then let's say you don't have the Flet yet, you can simultaneously install actually the Flet, something like this, something like that. Okay. Example, these are three libraries, NumPy, Flet, the Matplotlib. Okay, you can install it all together in just one, something like that. So let's say you're done with the installation with this one. So the next step is to generate the requirements text, meaning you will put all those requirements into requirements text. So how are you going to do that? You need to run this command. Okay, now here, okay, let me clear this out. You will type here pip raise and then greater than requirements dot text. Okay, and then we will try to look for this file. Try to open it up. Once it will be created, let's try to locate that file inside this folder. Let exercises, then my first ed project. And now let's try to open it here. Let exercises, then my first ed project, source, and there you have it. So if you notice, we have now all the required what they call this one libraries that we need to use, although we just put all copy all. Okay, you can remove the ones that you don't need, but if ever this one is a requirement, so it's better to have in all. Okay, so once that you're done doing that, the next step is to open the file, which I did earlier, and then if you want to check if it is the correct dependency, it should something like this. So it should have some version, okay, something like that. Although since I already installed other libraries, it also added here. If you notice, we had the Flet here, then the desktop, the web. So these are the things that we need. But later on, we might need all of these libraries which I initially installed in my Python libraries. So we can try to remove those other libraries that are not necessary. Okay. This one, these are all the libraries that I installed prior to do the demonstration with this one in my Python. As you can see, I do had a lot. We might have a different list because prior to this, I already had installed different libraries already. Okay, so that's how you going to what they call this one, install the requirements. Okay, and if you want to check So it's better to really, you know, to have this kind of setup for you to be able to join the text so that it will be added and if you need to download and verify the requirements. Okay. Now, once that you're done with that, so of course you're ready. So now the question is, let's say you have now the requirements that text. Let's list all the dependencies required for your project. This file can be shared with others to recreate the same environment using the find command. So, what does it mean? Okay, once you have it, and then let's say when you run it, you just simply type pip install dash r requirements dot text. So this will be your command to do it. Okay, once before prior to the running. Okay, it will install all the required. As you can see, it's already added to my list. So for assuming that you will need to use this one in another PC. Okay, so that's it for this video, I guess. If you had any clarifications or confusion to setting up, then you just review the video again. But for now, this is just a continuation of the part. For the next video, we will try to set up the what we call this one, the program or the structure. Okay, we're going to create the project structure. Okay, so how does it work? Okay, let me um, close this one first. I just need to show it to you. Okay, let me open. Hold on. Before we start with another one, let me just, okay. So you can see it there, the, what they call this one, project structure. I call this one project structure. Okay. And I hope you can follow along. Uh-huh. Okay, this one is the project structure that we're going. Initially, the best practices is actually to have this kind of structure, and wherein we need to create a modular Flet application. Okay, for that case, we will create the main. Okay, the main.py, and then we will also create the header.py, then the footer and home.py as well as about my py. Okay, so this is actually under this project component. So it's a bit, it's a good way on creating, meaning under our source folder, we need to create another subfolder. First is to separate the main file, which is outside of the components and pages. So we need to create all of this one. And how does it look like? Yeah, example here. Okay, we had, although we had here the main file, but ideally, if you have the source, you need to create here the components. Okay, components. And then another one is for the pages. Okay. And since we already had here the requirements, we still have to add the other details. Okay, so here in the components, or let's start off with the main pie. Okay, I'll just rename this one with main. Main pie. Okay, it's a main pie. Now, of course, in this code, what we're going to do is we will import. Of course, we already had it here. And then from here, we will try to add from components, okay, referring to the components that we created. Import header, footer, and then another one from pages, referring to the pages. Okay, this one, the pages. Import home and about. Okay, so this is an example. Now in our main page, okay, what we're going to do here, we have to add this one, okay, header that create, okay. So better we're going to create, oops, the create should be something like that. Okay, let's just copy this one and, oops, sorry. Why my control is not working? And home, then another one is add the footer. So we had now a multiple pages. So that. So we had here our main application. Okay, now we need to create all of this individually. So of course we're going to the component side. So inside the component, we need to create a header dot py. Okay, and the header dot py, you type import. Okay, let us ft. Okay, so we need to define a function. Let's say create, then return ft.text, and we just had some like header section. Okay, something like that. So that's inside the header. Now in our footer, we're going to create another file. Let's call this one footer.py. Okay, so same aspect. I'll just copy here. I'll copy this one. Oh, sorry. Why did what happened? My control. Okay, so Control C and then footer. Control D. I replace this one as footer. Okay, this is a footer section. Okay, now we had our footer, the header. Next is we go inside the pages. Inside the pages, we create home, home.py. Okay, so from here, I'll just copy the code again. And let me replace this one with the home page content. Okay, so we had now our home. And let's try to add another one, which is about that pie. I'll just copy code and replace this one with about page section. Okay, so we have created now all of this one. Okay, so this is an example of what we call um, this one, the one that we had here. Shall of course, idea, this is the computer. Okay, so if you're going to run it, what will be the command? Okay. Now, if you're going back and to this one, the modularized split program structure, which I showed earlier for this one. So we need to activate again, of course, the environment that we had. Let's say we happen to close it. Sorry. Oh, sorry. So let's open up okay, the activation. This one. We need to activate it, and let's say if it is not activated yet, then of course making sure that the requirements are already installed since we already have the requirements here. There are already the requirements. And then what is next that we need to do is since we did not activate it, oops. So again, my environment. So we have to do the same again since this is the, okay, let me, the other command a while ago. Uh-huh. Every time that you do the activation. Okay. For this one, we need to run this one. Okay. Let's try to run again. Of course, it will not, sorry. I supposed to run that one here. Okay, let me open the one. This is what happened. The only thing when you are running, no, we'll just use the PowerShell. I forgot. PowerShell. Okay, let's go to CD, Flet exercises. Okay, my first Flet, then SRC. Okay, so from here, I will copy again this one. Okay, we'll try to run again. Oh, there's another one that I forgot the another script. Okay, this one. Did I run the PowerShell using the Win administrator? I forgot. Okay, I'm doing this over and over again. CD, let exercises. My first let source. So we don't need to keep on running. Oops. Okay, let exercises. My first. Okay, wrong spelling. Let exercises. My first let then source. Okay, that's it. Now we will try to set this one. Okay, yes. And then another one is the remote. Okay, we'll copy this one because I don't need to keep on copying it. Then yes again. Okay, now let's go back to the activation again. Okay, what happened? My environment. Entered nodule. Okay, so Let's try to recreate the environment again. I guess something wrong. This one is not working. Python MVNV. Let's say DNV again. Uh-huh. Yes. Okay. D. Oh, sorry. Let me run again. D and B scripts activate. Okay, it's activated already. Now, the next thing that we're going to do is, of course, run the program. Since we, okay, I need to install again the the requirements because we just, created another environment for this one. So that's the thing that we need to do. Okay. All right. Just wait for a little bit now. Okay. Just wait for a little while. So if you encounter that kind of error a while ago, just do the process of what I did. So I want you to experience it as well because for now we're both learning on this icon Flet. We will learn together. Okay. I hope that you can follow along with me. And it only happens, as I mentioned earlier, especially that PowerShell, as you need to run it using. The best way is to run it using the command prompt. Now let's try to run the program. Python main.py. Okay, I hope this one will work. Let's pray. Using environment. Okay. Oh, there you have that. Oh, we're working. So we have now the header, the home, and the footer. So therefore, all of this, the header, the home, is coming from the different, what they call this one, file. Okay. So if you're going to modify here, for example, you have to add more details. Okay, for that one. Uh, let's say, let's say you actually ended it. Let's say we will try to, this is about section. Okay, we'll try to modify it so you can see the home. This is the home page. Okay, so let's try to run again. See, we have it in there. Okay, there you have it. Now it's working. So that's how you're going to work putting all together, especially different pages. I mean, it would be easy to modify the code. Just go directly from here on a specific here. Would be easy to modify. If in case you had fixed value, and if you're going to look at in the main file, let's say, where is the main? Okay, this one. We are trying to just display add. Okay, this one is the function which is coming from that particular, okay, example, this one, create. Okay, it will create the function. It will create the header with the home and the footer, and then you are calling. But before it can be displayed, you have to import it. And by the way, this is actually the supposed to be discussed in the next part. Anyway, we will just go back on editing the per part of the module. I'm just showing it to you that it would be better to organize your program structure, as you can see, whether the components, the pages, and your main application. So that later on, we will modify it one by one. So that's all for now. And next uh, video, we will start doing the modular part, meaning we have to start with the basic one. Let's understand how we can resize the window, how we can add the text field, and how we can do the layouting and all. Okay, I hope that you will stay and continue watching this tutorial. And that's all for today. Have a nice day.